Have you ever questioned if the rice on your plate is quietly making your blood sugar worse? It sounds unexpected. I realize rice is the sort of acquainted food, comforting, easy, a part of so many food. But what if I informed you that the manner maximum humans prepare dinner and devour rice could honestly be running in opposition to their fitness, in particular after age 6? Hi there, I'm so happy you are right here with me nowadays. This video is not approximately fear, it's approximately wish, and it is approximately control. Because the reality is, there are easy demonstrated methods to show rice. From a hidden blood sugar saboteur into a gut healing, sugar stabilizing and life-giving food, and it does not require unique drugs or fancy machines. Just small adjustments to your normal routine. I've spent years with inside the globe of senior fitness, and I've visited some distance to many folks. Take all of the proper medications. Follow all the same old advice, but still warfare with growing blood sugar, cussed weight, and digestive issues. That's after I found out we regularly overlook the maximum fundamental matters proper in the front of us, like how we put together our rice. So nowadays, I'm sharing 5 easy rice hacks, which could make an effective distinction in your fitness. They're smooth to do, backed through science, and great of all, they fit proper into the food you are already making. Before we get started, permit me ask you this. Do you, or a person you love, devour rice nearly each day? Have you ever felt bloated or worn out after a meal and notion it turned into simply age? Let me realize in the remarks below. I'd like to hear your story. And in case you need extra clear, realistic recommendations like this, please hit that subscribe button and be part of our Health 365 family. All proper permits dive into the first actual rice secret, one which could extract how your frame absorbs vitamins with only a little more time. Something so easy but so effective. Soak in your rice. Yes, that normal addiction that a lot of us pass without a 2D notion can quietly extract how your frame reacts to a bowl of rice. Now, I realize what you is probably thinking. I've been rinsing and cooking rice my whole life. Why restore something this is not broken? But right, here's the unexpected reality. Unsoaked rice can block your frame from soaking up the very vitamins you need. You see, rice, in particular, white or brown rice, contains something referred to as phytic acid. It hides in the outer layers of the grain, and while it is absolutely natural, it may act like a bit thief to your digestive system. It latches directly to key minerals like calcium, zinc, and iron, and makes it more difficult on your frame to take in them. For older adults who might also additionally already be dealing with bone thinning, fatigue, or low immunity, this topic's extra than you think. Now, right here's the coolest news. Simply soak in your rice, similar to how our dad and mom or grandparents may have done, can lessen phytic acid and release greater of the one's vital nutrients. And there's any other massive benefit. It makes the rice less complicated to digest. Many older adults I've labored with inform me approximately bloating, gas, or simply feeling to complete after a meal. But once they commence soaking their rice, food have become lighter, smoother, and plenty greater comfortable. So, how do you do it proper? After rinsing your rice very well below cool water, allow it soak in heat water for 30 to 60 minutes, earlier than cooking. This offers the grains time to soften, take in moisture, and smash down the ones difficult to digest compounds. If you are brief on time, even half hour makes a distinction. But be cautious now, no longer to overdo it. Don't soak for greater than 3 hours, particularly in heat weather, as microorganisms can develop and spoil the rice. One girl I don't forget, 72 years old, continually lively, however, suffering with a touchy stomach, commenced this one habit, simply soaking her rice. Within weeks, her soreness after food almost disappeared. She'll know as it her small miracle. It's any such tiny shift. No pills, no unique tools, simply water, time, and intention. But the reward, higher digestion, more potent nutrient absorption, and greater strength after food. Give it a try. And in case you've already been doing this, allow us to recognize in the remarks how it has helped you. Or if you have by no means attempted it, what is holding you back? Now, in case you supposed that was simple, simply wait till you pay attention what an unmarried spoonful of vinegar can do to your blood sugar. Let's flow directly to tip range 2. One of the maximum unexpected and effective hints you could do with rice, including a bit vinegar. Yes, I recognize that would sound abnormal at first. Vinegar and rice. You is probably thinking, may not that destroy the taste? But pay attention me out, because simply one spoonful of the proper type of vinegar could make a world of distinction in your blood sugar, your digestion, or even your strength levels. After a meal, here's what is going on in the back of the scenes. Vinegar, particularly herbal apple cider vinegar, contains something known as acetic acid. This little compound enables gradual down how quick your frame breaks down and absorbs carbs. This means that your blood sugar would not shoot up proper after you eat. That's particularly crucial for the ones people over 60 whilst the frame turns into greater touchy to sugar spikes. And in case you're coping with prediabetes or kinda diabetes, this one step may want to be a gift. In fact, a first-rate look at from Johns Hopkins University determined that simply including vinegar to rice can lower its glycemic index via way of means of 31%. That's a massive drop from an excessive sugar response to something tons greater, gentle, and balanced. I don't forget a type guy in his late 60s, pre-diabetic, frustrated, uninterested in feeling gradual after food. He commenced including simply 1 tablespoon of herbal fermented vinegar to the water whilst he cooked his rice. Within a couple of months, his fasting blood sugar stabilized and he felt lighter, clearer, and extra in control. So, how do you do this at home? Simple. When you're adding water in your rice cooker or pot, simply upload 1 tablespoon of herbal fermented vinegar, like apple cider vinegar. The rice might not flavor sour, I promise. In fact, many humans say it tastes simply a piece purifier or fresher. Important note, ensure the vinegar is herbal and fermented, now no longer artificial or flavored. The artificial stuff doesn't provide the equal advantages and can even worsen your belly if you're touchy. And if you have a, in particular, touchy intestine, or you're simply attempting this for the primary time, begin with 1/2 of a tablespoon and notice how you feel. This tip is so clean to adopt but its effect may be profound, particularly over time. And the high quality part, it is now no longer a medicine. It's now no longer a restriction. It's surely giving your frame a bit assist naturally. And now, let's flow directly to something simply as surprising. How oatmeal, while paired with rice inside the proper quantity, can do wonders in your coronary heart and blood sugar. Don't pass over this subsequent tip. Now, this is a smart little mystery that maximum humans have in no way heard of. Mixing simply a piece of oatmeal into your rice. Yes, oatmeal. You likely already understand it is proper for your coronary heart, your cholesterol, and your digestion. But what is certainly thrilling is how a small quantity blended together along with your rice can dramatically enhance how your frame tactics sugar or even smooth out your blood vessels over time. Let me explain. Oatmeal is wealthy in something, beta-glucan, a kind of soluble fiber. When you consume it, beta-glucan acts like a mild sponge interior your system in movements through your intestine, absorbing bad cholesterol, slowing down digestion, and maintaining your blood sugar from growing too fast after a meal. For seniors, particularly the ones residing with high cholesterol, prediabetes, or blood stress issues, this sort of aid is gold. In fact, a take a look at from the National Institutes of Health located that mixing only a small quantity of oatmeal into rice can gradual down the upward thrust in blood sugar by as much as 43%. That's now no longer a small improvement. That's a large bounce closer to balance in long-time period health. The key, though, is the quantity. You do not need an excessive amount of. That's why we name it the golden ratio. If you are making 1 cup of rice, about 150 g, you will need to combine in only 1:1, 5 teaspoons of simple dry oatmeal. That's around 5% to 7% of the total volume, enough to offer you the advantages without overpowering your digestion. Why now no longer upload extra? Well, at the same time as oatmeal. Healthy, an excessive amount of in a single meal, particularly for older adults, can cause bloating, gas, or a heavy feeling. Gentle stability is the key. A small dose each day offers your frame simply the right quantity of soluble fiber to support smoother digestion, higher LDL cholesterol control, and steadier strength after meals. I visible this small alternate such a lot of people. One lady in her mid-70s, coping with each excessive LDL, cholesterol and early symptoms, and symptoms of diabetes, commenced the use of this method. She certainly blended a teaspoon of oatmeal into her everyday rice. After 3 months, her lab outcomes stepped forward, and extra importantly, she felt higher, clearer, lighter, and extra confident. And one extra mild reminder: if you have kidney problems, constantly communicate with your medical doctor earlier than growing your fiber or complete grain consumption. Every frame is unique, and now that we have stepped forward, the manner your rice handles sugar and LDL cholesterol, let's examine a golden spice. It's been used for centuries, and that can enhance your insulin sensitivity in a totally herbal manner. Next up is a small golden pinch with big restoration power: turmeric. You've probably heard of turmeric as a spice used in curries. But did you understand that only a little bit of turmeric in your rice can certainly assist your frame respond to insulin, higher, or even reduce infection during your system? The lively compound in turmeric is known as curcumin, ANTI, inflammatory benefits. But one of the maximum interesting discoveries is how curcumin facilitates enhanced insulin sensitivity. That approach, it facilitates your frame use insulin extra effectively. Kind of like sprucing a stupid key so it fits the lock again. As we age, lots of us broaden something known as insulin resistance, in which the frame no longer responds properly to insulin. That leads to better blood sugar, fatigue, weight gain, and now and again extra serious complications. But studies from the National Institutes of Health discovered that steady curcumin consumption over the years decreased insulin resistance with the aid of using 23%. End result corresponding to a few mild diabetes medications. And all it takes is a pinch. One lady in her late 60s, coping with kinda diabetes for years, determined to do this after speaking with her medical doctor. She failed to alternate anything else in her diet. Simply commenced including a small pinch of turmeric powder to her heat rice as soon as a day. After a few months, her blood sugar readings became extra stable, and he or she become capable of lower her remedy dosage. Her smile said, "The entirety to try this at home. It's very simple. After your rice is cooked and nevertheless heat, simply sprinkle 1 to 2 small pinches of natural turmeric powder over it, and stir gently. The warm temperature facilitates launch the herbal oils and aroma, and the taste blends fantastically with undeniable rice. Start small, specifically if you are now no longer used to the taste. You can constantly increase grade by grade over the years as your palate adjusts. Just ensure you're the use of natural turmeric powder, now no longer curry powder. Curry powder typically contains tomato. However, additionally consists of salt and different spices that might not provide the same advantage and will dissatisfy your belly if taken in big amounts. Also, if you have gallbladder problems or are taking sure medications, take a look at with your fitness care issuer earlier than including turmeric, often simply to be safe. This is a small, colorful dependency with mild, however effective effects. One that connects you with centuries of herbal recovery wisdom. And now, as we circulate to our final tip, get geared up for something even more unexpected. A technique that doesn't require including something at all. It's all approximately the way you cool and reheat your rice to release even deeper intestine fitness benefits. One of the maximum, unexpected, yet fairly effective rice habits: cooling and reheating your rice. Yes, that is it. No special ingredient, no supplement. Just letting your rice cool after cooking, after which lightly warming it up once more earlier than consuming. Simple, yes, However, the science in the back of its miles not anything brief of amazing. Here's what happens. When you prepare dinner rice, after which permit it cool, the starch inside, it truly changes. It turns into something referred to as resistant starch. Unlike ordinary starch that receives digested speedy and becomes sugar in your bloodstream, resistant starch resists digestion. Instead of breaking down in the small gut, it travels further into your big gut, wherein it turns into meals in your intestines. Good microorganism. That manner, higher digestion, much less inflammation, and stronger immunity. It's like giving your intestine a mild recovery rubbed down from the inside out. But that is now no longer all. Resistant starch additionally facilitates lessen post-meal blood sugar spikes, helps bowel regularity, or even improves how your frame uses insulin. For seniors, specifically the ones managing blood sugar, intestine discomfort, or constipation, this one alternate can bring massive relief. As soon as labored with a person in his 70s, who had handled constipation and irritable bowel problems for years. Medications helped a little, however not anything delivered actual comfort. He began out cooling his rice, after cooking, letting it take a seat down, then reheating it earlier than meals. Within a few weeks, his digestion changed dramatically. He felt lighter, more ordinary, and ultimately at ease. So, how do you do it? After cooking your rice, go away the lid open and permit it take a seat down at room temperature for half hour to an hour. You can then devour it, or higher yet, shop it with inside the refrigerator and reheat it lightly later that day or the next. When reheating, simply heat it till hot. Don't overcook it or permit it. Take a seat down to lengthy at room temperature. Especially in hotter weather, microorganism can develop in rice, disregarded too lengthy. So, if you're now no longer consuming it proper way, refrigerate it right away, and revel in inside 1 to 2 days. It's this type of easy alternate. However, the rewards are deep. Better intestine fitness, progressed blood sugar control, and a feeling of inner stability that so many older adults, lengthy for, think approximately that, with simply a chunk of time and planning, your rice can emerge as one of the most nourishing meals to your plate. Now that we've explored all 5 of those gentle, however effective rice behavior, let's take a second to mirror and wrap it all together. Because at the same time as every of those guidelines is small on its very own, what truly transforms fitness is the manner they add up. Meal with the aid of using meal, grain with the aid of using grain. These 5 rice behavior might also additionally appear small. However, they keep actual power. Soak in your rice, including a touch vinegar, blending in a bit of oatmeal, sprinkling turmeric, and cooling earlier than reheating. Each step helps your blood sugar, digestion, and long time period power in its very own gentle manner. And here's the truth. It's never to pass due to make changes. You do not have to do the whole thing at once. Start with simply one, whichever feels simplest for you, and spot how your frame responds. Small steps frequently cause the biggest changes. Visible those guidelines assist so many older adults experience better, move easier, and take return to manipulate over their food and their fitness. You deserve that too. If this video helped you or gave you something new to suppose approximately, please provide it a like. It really helps our work. And if you would like to live in this adventure with us, tap subscribe to enroll in the Health 365 family. We're right here for you with practical, science primarily based, totally guidelines that match your life. Have any of those rice behaviors surprised you? Or have you ever already attempted one earlier than I'd like to pay attention? Approximately. Feel loose to percentage your mind with inside the comments. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you with inside the subsequent video. You've got this.